Look around at the strongest men you know. The ones who are actually building something. The ones who have their lives together. The ones who are disciplined, focused, and moving forward with purpose. Notice something? They're usually alone. Not lonely. Alone. There's a difference. Lonely is a feeling. Alone is a position. And strong men end up in that position not because they're antisocial or bitter or think they're better than everyone else. They end up there because strength has a price that most men aren't willing to pay. Let me explain why strong men walk alone. And why, if you're serious about becoming the man God created you to be, you need to accept that you will too. The first reason strong men walk alone is simple. Most people can't keep up. When you're committed to discipline, when you're dedicated to growth, when you're obsessed with your purpose, you move at a pace most people find exhausting. They want to hang out when you need to work. They want to party when you need to train. They want to waste time when you have dreams to build. And at first, you try to bring them along. You invite them. You encourage them. You try to inspire them. But eventually you realize something painful. They don't want to change. They don't want to grow. They don't want what you want. They're comfortable. And your discomfort with mediocrity makes them uncomfortable with their choices. So you have a decision to make. Slow down to their pace or keep moving forward alone. And strong men always choose the same thing. They keep moving because they understand that your future is more important than their feelings. Proverbs 13 verse 20 warns us, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." Notice it doesn't say you might suffer harm. It says you will suffer harm. Guaranteed. Your companions determine your destination. And if they're not going where you're going, they're taking you where you don't want to be. The second reason strong men walk alone is because strength threatens weakness. Your discipline is a mirror that reflects their lack of it. Your progress highlights their stagnation. Your commitment exposes their excuses. They don't hate you. They hate what you represent. You're proof that change is possible. That excuses are just excuses. That they could do it too if they really wanted to. And that truth is so uncomfortable that they'd rather remove you from their life than confront it in themselves. So they'll criticize you, mock your discipline, call you obsessed, say you've changed, accuse you of thinking you're better than them. And maybe you have changed. You should have. That's called growth. And yes, you are better than you were. That's the whole point. But here's what they don't understand. You're not walking alone because you think you're better than them. You're walking alone because you're committed to becoming better than you are. And those are two completely different things. The third reason strong men walk alone is because the path to greatness is narrow. Jesus said it himself in Matthew 7 verses 13 to 14, "Enter by the narrow gate. For the gate is wide and the way is easy that leads to destruction, and those who enter by it are many. For the gate is narrow and the way is hard that leads to life, and those who find it are few." The way is hard, and those who find it are few. Not because it's hidden, because most people aren't willing to walk it. They want the wide gate, the easy way, the path that everyone else is on. Because there's comfort in crowds. There's safety in numbers. There's validation in popularity. But the narrow path is lonely. By definition, it's narrow. There's no room for crowds. No space for people who aren't serious. No tolerance for distractions. It's you and God and the mission He gave you. That's it. And if you're not willing to walk that narrow path alone, you'll never reach the destination it leads to. You'll spend your whole life on the wide path with everyone else, heading toward destruction, telling yourself it's okay because at least you're not alone. The fourth reason strong men walk alone is because they've learned to value quality over quantity. They'd rather have no friends than fake friends. Rather have silence than shallow conversations. Rather have solitude than surface-level relationships. Most people collect friends like trophies. They want a big social circle. Lots of contacts. Full calendars. Busy social lives. Because it makes them feel important. Popular. Valued. But strong men realize that most of those relationships are transactional. People who want something from you. Who are there for what you can do for them, not who you are. Who disappear the moment you can't provide entertainment, validation, or utility. Strong men would rather have 2 real brothers who will show up at 3 a.m. when life falls apart than 100 acquaintances who like their Instagram posts. Quality over quantity. Depth over breadth. Real over fake. And real relationships are rare. Because real relationships require real people. And most people are wearing masks. Playing roles. Protecting images. Too afraid to be vulnerable. Too insecure to be authentic. Too shallow to go deep. So strong men end up alone. Not because they can't connect. Because they refuse to pretend. And pretending is the price of admission to most social circles. The 5th reason strong men walk alone is because they've been betrayed. They've learned the hard way that not everyone who smiles at you is for you. That not everyone who calls you brother has your back. That not everyone who seems loyal actually is. They've been stabbed in the back by people they trusted. Used by people they helped, betrayed by people they loved. And while weak men become bitter, strong men become wise. They don't stop trusting everyone. They just stop trusting everyone immediately. They make people earn their trust, prove their loyalty, demonstrate their character over time. And most people aren't willing to do that. Most people want instant intimacy, immediate access, quick friendship. But strong men know that anything built quickly usually falls apart quickly. So they move slowly, cautiously, guarded. Not because they're cold, because they're careful. They've paid the price of misplaced trust, and they're not paying it again. The 6th reason strong men walk alone is because leadership is lonely. The higher you go, the fewer people there are. The more responsibility you carry, the less people understand what you're dealing with. The more decisions you make, the more criticism you receive. Everyone wants to be a leader until they realize what leadership actually costs. The weight of decisions that affect other people's lives. The burden of seeing problems before they happen. The pressure of being the one everyone looks to when things fall apart. The loneliness of making choices that no one else has the information or perspective to understand. Moses led millions of people. And how many truly understood what he carried? How many could relate to hearing directly from God and having to translate that to a stiff-necked people? How many felt the weight of their constant complaining, their repeated rebellion, their short memories? He had Aaron and Joshua. That's about it. 2 people out of millions who could somewhat relate to what he was going through. Everyone else was just following, complaining, or questioning his leadership. That's leadership. You carry weight that others can't see. You make decisions others won't understand. You sacrifice in ways others won't acknowledge. And you do it alone because that's what leadership requires. The 7th reason strong men walk alone is because they're focused. They don't have time for drama, for gossip, for petty conflicts, for surface-level socializing that produces nothing of value. They're building something, creating something, accomplishing something. And that requires focus that most people find extreme. They can't explain to people why they can't just relax, or take a break, or live a little. Because people who aren't building anything don't understand the cost of building something significant. So strong men stop trying to explain. They just focus. They work. They build. Alone. While everyone else is at parties and social gatherings, posting about their amazing social lives, wondering why they're not making progress. And here's the irony. The very people who criticize strong men for walking alone will be the first ones to show up when they need something. When they need advice. When they need help. When they need someone strong to lean on. Because they instinctively know that the man who walked alone became strong enough to carry others. The 8th reason strong men walk alone is because they're in a season of preparation. God is doing something in them that requires isolation. Like Jesus in the wilderness. Like Moses in the desert. Like David in the caves. Like Paul in Arabia. God isolates who he's about to use. Because he needs to strip away everything you're depending on that isn't him. Your friends. Your comfort. Your old identity. Your safety nets. Until it's just you and God. Until you learn that he's enough. That isolation isn't punishment. It's preparation. God is removing the crowd so he can reveal his voice. He's removing the distractions so he can develop your character. He's removing the audience so he can test your obedience when no one's watching. And when he's done, when you've been refined in that lonely season, he'll bring you out. He'll give you a platform. He'll connect you with the right people. But only after you've learned to stand alone with him. Because a man who needs people to validate him can't be trusted with a calling that will attract them. The 9th reason strong men walk alone is because they've outgrown their environment. They've leveled up mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and the people around them haven't. And there's no judgment in that. People grow at different rates. But you can't stay connected to everyone from every season of your life. Some relationships have expiration dates. Not because anyone did anything wrong. Because you're going different directions. You're growing. They're staying. You're building. They're coasting. You're focused. They're distracted. And trying to maintain those relationships becomes exhausting. You're speaking a different language. Operating at a different frequency. Thinking about different things. And every conversation feels like you're translating across cultures. So eventually you let go. Not with bitterness. With gratitude for what was and acceptance of what is. You honor the past without being imprisoned by it. And you keep moving forward even if it means moving forward alone. The 10th reason strong men walk alone is because they choose it. Not because they're antisocial or damaged or arrogant. But because they've tasted both. They've had the crowds and the noise and the validation of being surrounded by people. And they've had the solitude and the silence and the strength that comes from standing alone. And they've learned something crucial. Alone is where you find yourself. Alone is where you hear God clearly. Alone is where you build character. Alone is where you develop strength. Alone is where you become who you're meant to be. You can't find yourself in a crowd. You can't hear God's voice when everyone else is talking. You can't build character when you're constantly being influenced. You can't develop strength when you're always leaning on others. So strong men choose alone. Not forever. But for seasons. For stretches. For as long as it takes to become who they need to be. And they don't apologize for it. Don't explain it. Don't justify it. They just do it. Because they know something that weak men don't. The man who can stand alone is never truly alone. He is God. He has purpose. He has himself. And that's more than enough. Psalm 25 verse 16 says, "Turn to me and be gracious to me, for I am lonely and afflicted." Even David, a man after God's own heart, experienced loneliness. But he turned to God in it. He didn't run from the alone. He ran to God in the alone. That's what strong men do. They don't avoid solitude. They use it. They don't fear loneliness. They leverage it. They don't see walking alone as a problem to solve. They see it as a position to occupy until God says otherwise. And here's what happens. When you embrace the alone instead of running from it, when you stop trying to fill the silence with noise and distraction, when you learn to be comfortable with just you and God, something shifts. You become self-sufficient in a way most men never do. You develop an internal strength that doesn't need external validation. You build a relationship with God that can't be shaken by circumstances. You discover a peace that doesn't depend on people. And ironically, that's when the right people show up. Not when you're desperate for connection. When you're complete without it. Not when you're needy. When you're whole. Not when you're looking for people to fill your emptiness. When you're so full of purpose that you overflow. God brings you brothers who match your mission. Partners who share your vision. Friends who sharpen you instead of dulling you. Relationships that add to your life instead of draining it. But that only happens after you've learned to walk alone. After you've proven you don't need people to be okay. After you've shown God that you'd rather walk alone with Him than in a crowd without Him. So if you're a strong man walking alone right now, listen to me. You're not broken. You're not unlikable. You're not defective. You're being prepared. You're being refined. You're being positioned for something that requires the strength you're building in this season. Don't rush out of the alone. Don't try to force connections that aren't meant. Don't compromise your standards because you're tired of being by yourself. Trust the process. Trust the season. Trust God. He's not wasting this time. He's using it. Every day you walk alone with Him, you're becoming someone who can stand strong when the crowds show up. Someone who can lead without needing followers to validate you. Someone who can build without needing applause to motivate you. And when the time is right, when you're ready, when the season shifts, God will surround you with the right people. But only after you've learned to stand with the right person. So walk alone with your head up, with purpose in your step, with peace in your heart, because you're not really alone. You're walking with the one who matters most. You're building something that will last. You're becoming someone who's worth becoming. And one day, when you look back at this lonely season, you won't regret it. You'll be grateful for it, because it's where you became strong. It's where you found yourself. It's where you met God in a way you never could in a crowd. This is why strong men walk alone. Not because they have to, because they choose to. Not because it's easy, because it's necessary. Not because they're running from people, because they're running toward purpose. And that purpose is worth every lonely night, every quiet morning, every moment of solitude. Because on the other side of this alone season is a man who can handle anything, lead anyone, build something significant, and finish what God started. Walk alone, walk strong, walk with God, and watch what He does with a man who's willing to stand when everyone else sits, move when everyone else stays, build when everyone else watches. The world doesn't need more men who need crowds to feel validated. It needs more men who are strong enough to stand alone. Be that man.